Hello everybody and welcome back to the e-learning space of MGM Higher Secondary School, Bokaro. This is the first video for grammar lesson number 15 of class 8 English. Lesson number 15 is titled Voice. So the first question is, what is voice? Voice is a characteristic of verbs which indicates the relation of the verb's action to its subject. Simply saying, voice is a form of verb which tells us whether the subject has performed the action or has the subject received the action. Based on this definition of voice, there are two kinds of voices: active voice and passive voice. These are the voices of verb. Let us first have a glimpse of what are active voices and what are passive voices. Active. Over here, the subject is actively participating in the action. That is, the subject is the person who is performing the action, or it is the thing that is performing the action on the object. So the structure of the sentence is subject performing the action, that is the verb, followed by on what the action is being performed, that is the object. Example, Anna painted the house. The teacher always answers the students' questions. Ali posted the video online. So Anna is the name of a person. She is the subject. She is performing the verb, that is action, painted on the object house. Similarly, the teacher, subject, answers verb, and it is the student's questions, which is the object. Ali, subject, posted verb, the video online, object. Now coming to the passive voice, here the subject is the passive recipient. Recipient means receives. The subject receives the action. It is not the doer of the action. In fact, it is being acted upon. So the subject here in the sentence, the house, is not doing the action. It is was painted by Anna. The action was done on the house, which is the subject in the sentence. And before this, it was in the object place in the active voice. If you can see the comparison that we are drawing here. Now the students' questions are answered by the teacher. Over here, the subject, the students, is not doing something. In fact, it is receiving the verb, that is the action. It is receiving the questions answered by the teacher. The video was posted online by Ali. The video in this sentence is the subject, but it is not doing something. It is being done upon. It is being acted upon. So the basic difference between active and passive voices is that in active voice, the subject is doing something. In passive voice, the subject is receiving something. Now look at the example of active voice more closely. The leopard chased the antelope. The leopard is the subject, chased is the verb, the antelope is the object. So the subject here is doing the action. It is chasing something. It is hence in the active voice. Now look closely at the example of passive voice. The bridge was blown up by engineers. The bridge was blown up by engineers. Yes, the bridge here is the subject of the sentence, but it is not doing something. It was blown up means it is receiving the action. By whom? The actors, that is the engineer. So in passive voice, the subject is never doing the action but receiving the action. Now let us see another comparison between active voice and passive voice. Wild penguins attacked my sister. Wild penguins is the subject here, remember, okay? The action is attacked. They attacked my sister, which is the object. But in the next sentence, this my sister will become the subject. How? Because it is receiving the action. My sister was attacked by wild penguins. So in the first part, wild penguins, the subject, are doing an action on the object. But in passive voice, the same object becomes the subject. However, it does not do any action. It receives the action. Now what we have to learn is how to transform active voices to passive voices and vice versa. There are certain rules to be kept in mind. Yes, the pronouns are changing. Yes, the shift is taking place between the object and the subject. But you also have to keep in mind the tenses. If a certain kind of tense is there in active voice, what will be the verb form in the same tense for the passive voice? Here is a small guide chart, you can say. In the next video, we are going to deal in detail about this transformation. So giving you a glimpse of it now, present indefinite will change into present continuous. But present continuous will not change. However, it will use the helping verb being. Similarly, past indefinite will change into past continuous. Future indefinite will change into future continuous. Present perfect changes into present perfect continuous. Past perfect changes into past perfect continuous. Future continuous changes into future perfect continuous. This is just a glimpse. We are going to deal with this slide in detail in our next video lesson. Keeping the rules that we just discussed in the previous slide, here is an example to help you understand the transformation of active into passive and passive into active according to the different tenses. So in present simple, if the active voice says, I do my homework, in passive voice it becomes, my homework is done. In present continuous, if active voice says, I am doing my homework, in passive voice, it will be said, my homework is being done. Just as discussed, after the helping verb is, we are using the word being to convert active sentences into passive sentences in present continuous tense. Past simple, I did my homework. In passive, it becomes, my homework was done. Past continuous active voice, I was doing my homework. In passive voice, my homework was being done. Once again, after the helping verb, we are using the word being. In present perfect, I have done my homework. In passive voice, my homework has been done. In past perfect, I had done my homework. My homework had been done in passive. In future simple, I will do my homework. In passive voice, my homework will be done. Future, I'm going to do my homework. My homework is going to be done. If we're using modals, I must do my homework. My homework must be done. If we are using modal and perfect tenses, I should have done my homework. My homework should have been done. The reversal of the sentence is such that in active voices, the subject is doing the action on the object, but in passive voices, the subject is receiving the action. That's all for today in the first video, children. We are going to discuss more about active voices and passive voices in our next video lesson. So stay tuned. Till then, thank you and take care.